So who are you here to be? What are we here to do and to make come alive on this journey of life? You have in your hand a letter, and I want you to grab that first. It's a letter from the divine for 2014, and it's a letter to you. Now, it may surprise you that it's blank and there's no one sitting around you that's going to fill that in. And maybe some of you can pray so hard with your eyes closed that you can open your eyes and there will be words on that page. But if not, it is yours in this sacred space to breathe into your co-creative faculties, your co-creative power, your power to create, to intend. And that's what we'll be using this letter for. Now, this other piece of paper is flash paper. And so, you know what I'm saying? Keep this paper safe. If you have a lighter or a match, don't go near it. You'll be using this paper at the end of the service. And you'll be using this paper to do a release at the end of the service and to put on this paper in condensed words, right? Because the Spirit of the Great All doesn't need to know all the stories. They don't need the diatribes, right? The energy of light doesn't need the diatribe of our woe is me. It just needs the woe and the me. So we condense those into the heaviest words that we have, and we place them on the paper. And then we're going to put them into our burning bowls later on in the service. So set this one aside in a special place. But for right now, take this letter and just hold it in your hands. You have an envelope and a letter. You have a choice at the end of this service to address this envelope to yourself and leave it with our ushers, and we will mail it to you at the end of 2014. So it'll be a surprise little love letter to yourself you get in the mail. Or you can choose to put it in this envelope and take it with you and put it on a sacred altar, a sacred table, give it to a special friend to hold vigil over it, to pray over it for the year, whatever works for you. But with this letter to the divine this year, I encourage you to really, letter from the divine, I encourage you to really think. Raise your hand if you've read Conversations with God. Good. Today we're going to have a conversation with God. The conversation's going to go something like this. If I loved you so much, more than you could imagine, you could be loved, what might I know for you in this next year, in 2014? What might my vision, my hope, my wish be for you? You can also think of those that you love in your life. Think of your children or parents or grandparents or your best friend. And think, what would this person want for me? If this person could write a wish letter, and the power in this letter would be so great because it would be quickened by intention, quickened by prayer, and quickened by action, what would they say they would have for me this new year that maybe I have not demonstrated yet in my life? Really breathe into that possibility for yourself. What would you want for yourself? What would you want for your best friend, and what do you think your best friend would want for you? You could think of the angels cheering you on, singing to you as you fall asleep, dreams and wishes for your highest good. These dreams and wishes will have something to do with your highest desire for yourself, because the word desire comes from of the Father. Desire of the Father. So what is it that makes you come alive? What is it in your life that is going well that you want to magnify or multiply or increase? Ernest Holmes says in his book, this thing called you. When you think, it is the divine mind in you, willing itself into action, thinking itself into manifestation, realizing itself as the object of its own thought. You do the choosing. This is a difficult one for some of us. Some of us let go so much. We want the great all to always do the choosing. So can we consider this year that the great all is saying, what is your choice, my dear? You do the choosing. The law does the outlining. You do the choosing, the law does the outlining. This is the distinction between choice and outline. If you choose to plant a tomato seed, you have chosen a tomato plant. But you do not outline how many leaves shall grow on the plant, how many stalks it shall have. That belongs to the law of cause and effect. The law can only operate on your images of thought, since the law is a doer and not a knower. Therefore, it is up to you to keep these images clear, that they may reflect themselves in the law, which is a mirror. Ernest Holmes. So what is it that is on your heart? If you were to receive right now a letter from the divine for your next year to guide you, to direct you, and to be fulfilled by you, in you, through you, and as you, what would that look like? And can we each, for a moment, release our sense of separation from each other, from the allness, release that little idea of self, and move into a great conversation with God and recognize that the voice we are hearing is the voice of light, blessing us. So I invite you to take a pen or a pencil and take your paper in your hand as you allow yourself to be open to the words of the divine, blessing you for this next year. And if this feels like a stretch, I want to share these words with you from the universe. This is a quote from Tut, which is Mike Dooley. He has a website called The Universe, tut.com, and he writes these messages. And this message reminds us that we are co-creators, and reminds us that it is not arrogant, it is not egotistical to move into this space of listening, that in fact it is our birthright. It is our birthright. So I share this with you. He said, if it's not yet obvious to you, the real reason for this season and all seasons is you. A more perfect child of the universe has never lived. Until now, only celebrations cloaked in myth and mystery could hint at your divine heritage and sacred destiny. You are life's prayer of becoming and its answer. The first light at the dawn of eternity dawned from the ether, so that I might know my own depth, discover new heights, and revel in seas of blessed emotion. A pioneer into illusion, an adventurer into the unknown, and a lifter of veils, courageous, heroic, and exalted by legions in the unseen. To give beyond reason, to care beyond hope, to love without limit, to reach, stretch, and dream in spite of your fears. These are the hallmarks of divinity, traits of the immortal, your badges of honor. May you wear them with a pride as great as we feel for you. Your light has illumined darkened paths. Your gaze has lifted broken spirits, and already your life has changed the course of history. Are you open to that possibility? Already, your life has changed the course of history. And he signs it, bowing before greatness, the universe. So with a deep breath, I invite you to write your letters. Just allowing the words to flow from your fingers freely, not analyzing or criticizing. remembering there is no scarcity in the mind of God. There is only a great yes. If anyone needs more paper or pen, just raise your hand and the ushers will bring one to you. As you work on finishing your letter, remember that you can keep it with you and have this be a continually expanding letter, or you can do some more work on it after the burning bowl. But for now, complete the thought where you are, or sign and seal the letter. Pay close attention to how you sign and seal it. Is the signature, is the signing at the end, is it supportive? Does it make you feel loved and nurtured and cared for? Does it let you know that you live in a vibrant, supportive universe that loves you and wants you to thrive? And so we bless those letters and just place them to the side right now. And now, just think for a moment as you hold that letter, realistically. What could keep you from demonstrating this truth? What could keep you from the intentions on this letter? What stands between you and the full experience in 2014 of these beautiful blessings? Allow anything that you think that could come between or stand between or block your good, allow them to come to mind now, courageously and freely. Renunciation is the power of letting go. Charles Fillmore says it is a letting go of old thoughts in order that a new thought may find its place in consciousness. How committed are we to this intention, to this letter? A healthy state of mind, he said, is attained when the thinker willingly lets go of old thoughts and takes on the new. This is illustrated by the inlet and the outlet in a pool of water. The center of renunciation, sometimes called elimination, in the lower part of the abdomen, carries forward the work of elimination of error thoughts from the mind and waste from the body. So are we willing to let go? Because there is something, if these visions have not been demonstrated yet in our lives, there is something to let go of in order to create the way, to create the path, and in fact to become the way to manifest these visions. One of the possibilities is that there is energy to be released. To fill a cup, we have to pour some out. To pick something up, we can't be holding on to something, right? If I want to pick something up that's new, I can't pick it up if all of my hands are tied up in resentments, in blame, in old energy, in old stories, in oh, how it used to be in the days when it was, or if it had been this way or that way. For some of us today, it's going to be energy released, because if we don't release energy that no longer serves us, it twists and it turns and it becomes dis-ease-like. It can become negative. It can become binding. So find out what you might be willing to release as far as energy and emotion. The next possibility you might want to consider for this burning bowl is, are the thoughts in my mind, are the beliefs a vibrational match for this vision? Because what can often happen is we become poor spiritual mathematicians, and we think this vibration plus this vibration is going to equal this vibration. But what the equation really looks like is, here's my hope and intention, here's my action or my emotion, and here's what I want. And the equation does not compute. So if we are going to be wise spiritual mathematicians, it takes positive inputs. It takes the vibrational match of that which we want to create, also moving through our actions, also moving through our minds. It takes stopping in the middle of a pattern to switch it and to say, wait, this plus this will never equal that. Let me recalculate here. Let me recalculate and let me put in new ingredients. So I cancel, I release, and I let go. So think of something in your life that may need to be released so that you have a vibrational match. We don't need to know how to release it. Remember, the law, the outworking of the law, will flower out the details. But what are we saying yes to that the field may be saying, not with those ingredients? Are you willing to put those ingredients onto your piece of paper? Here's the third possibility that you might want to look into today, and it is that our experiences often become our identities. Are there any experiences you've had in this human body, in this human life, whatever they may be, and you know them, that have become so part of your reality that you have become them? You have merged with them. That may be something like depression, it may be something like sickness, it may be something like a role, it may be something like a victimization, like, oh, my child always does this to me, woe is me. Oh, this is what my work situation, oh, ever since ever, I have had struggles with money. Whatever it is, sometimes our experience can become our identity. Can we get clear? We don't need to know how to get out of it. We don't need to know how to solve it. But can we get clear on an identity that we're no longer in agreement with? An identity that in this new year, in this 2014, we say, sweet spirit, let's do it. It's time. It's time, and I am ready to become a new woman. I am ready to become a new man. I am ready to have a new experience. Remind me that I was not born this way. Remind me that I was born from an abundant spirit. That I don't need to let anything, anyone, any circumstance, any situation drag me down. Because it is the thoughts, the emotions, the patterns, the beliefs, the addictions that drag us down that stand between us and this vision. So, Steve Epley, do you have anything to teach us today about what we can be dragged down by?
You might slip, you might slide, you might stumble and fall by the roadside. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember when you're walking up to heaven, don't let nobody turn you around. Walk with the rich, walk with the poor. Learn from everybody what life is for. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember when you're walking up to heaven, don't let nobody turn you around. The gospel, I believe it's true. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Yes, when I'm walking up to heaven, don't let nobody turn me around. Stumble and fall by the roadside. Don't let nobody drag your spirit down. Remember when you're walking up to heaven, don't let nobody turn you around.
Are you ready to take that energy of a good blues song, and press it into this paper and get over the whole, oh, I'm so spiritual, oh, I have to do this so seriously and it has to be so right, and take that energy and you're going to sing the blues to it. This is not real stuff. This is illusion, going back into the nothingness from which it came. My experience can entirely change this year, can it not? Amen? My experience can change this year. Say that with me. My experience can change this year. I will sing the blues to my sorrows. I will sing the blues to my sorrows. With a light-hearted energy, I will release, I will let go, and I will burn it up. So I give you a moment to just take a deep breath in. And I assure you, if you don't even feel like using a pencil, you could probably get enough of that negative mojo into this paper without even putting a word on it. But if you would like to, if some words come to mind, think of those illusions, those identifications, those ideas that have brought you down, that stand between you and your vision, that you are no longer in agreement with, no longer willing to entertain. And write those words on that paper. I invite you to do so now. And no, you can't have more paper. Our full spirit doesn't want the story, right? The story is the same thing. It's been told over and over. We've lived it over and over. There's that saying that some people live 99 years and some people live 1 year 99 times. Anything that is worthy of this paper is already known. We all know it. People have lived it ever since people were living. You just change the dates, you change the circumstances, you change the people. All of those fears, they're blueprints, they're patterns. Joseph Campbell work, they're archetypes. We're here to transmute that by the power of this fire energy that represents that transmuting power of God consciousness, that when we are really ready to lift something up and to let it go, we simply just have to name it and claim it. And that the energy of life, the energy of light does it, does the burning, does the transmuting itself. And then that energy is available to us, right? Our hands are open, our hearts are open, there is space to receive. So as you take your paper, and I really do invite you to just like get it all in there, just sing it the blues, get it in there. Remember that when you come to the flame, this is flash paper, to represent the dynamic power here. But when you come to the flame, just like with our issues, if we are willing to let them go, don't go back and grab it. If for some reason you start to put it on fire and it didn't light, someone else will come along and finish the job, just like in life. There will be supportive energies of the universe to help you. And just like our issues and these illusions, we may have a little bit of hesitancy towards really letting it go. Don't hesitate. Because just like our issues, if we hesitate, it could come back and burn us. Right? Very metaphysical here. So as we light it and let it go. I don't know if I did that exactly right. Let's have Patricia do one for us. Oh, she did it too. Look, we did it together. All right, so let's take a deep breath in. Yeah, Sam's going to do one, okay. Can we all say, ooh? Now, if you could say to anyone around you, just say, I see that gone. In fact, I don't see it anymore, and I stand with you in that truth. We are no longer in agreement with that self. We are no longer in agreement with that experience. As you're ready, you may come on up and use the burning bowl. We'll keep the sanctuary sacred as this process continues. And if you get back to your seat, you can continue writing your letter, or you can go into a state of meditation. And just know that the energy in this sanctuary blesses you. Know that all of those who are with us online are doing this at their homes, in fireplaces, safely, we hope. And let's breathe into this sacred creation together.